Thank you, sir, for giving me opportunity to talk with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to it.
So I've gone through your profile, and I thought to tell the work that you are doing to my audience and to the world who is watching and listening to me.
What's that? I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought to tell about the work that you're doing to my audience and to the world who is following me and who is watching me.
Okay.
Yeah. So can you please introduce yourself to the world?
Uh, and I apologize. You want me to say what now? I'm so sorry. One more time.
Can you please introduce yourself to my
Oh, introduce
audience?
myself. I'm so sorry, man. I'll
Mhm.
adjust my earphones here. That's my fault. I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jeff Thill. I'm the founder of the band Sonic Descent. I'm super excited to be here today on the show. And man, I've looked at a lot of your interviews on the show, and what you're doing is super cool, man. I love it. Yeah, right on. And I'm super honored to be a guest on your show. So thank you for taking the time to even talk to me. That's awesome.
So I've gone through your profile and I have seen the work that you did. I really felt amazed. You know, I was comparing the tunes that was there inside my mind before meeting you with the
Yeah,
music that you did. You know,
yeah.
that made me feel like refreshed. It was so new and it was so uh, beautiful.
Wow. I am honored that you think that. And you know, whenever you're creating anything, if it's a painting or like you're doing, reaching out to people and trying to discover new things, throughout the world, sometimes you're doing it in a vacuum. You're doing it by yourself. You don't have anybody else telling you if it's good, it's bad, what they think about it. So someone like you, who I've never met before, to tell me that you really loved it, it means a lot to me. So thank you. That's great. That's awesome to hear.
So where are you from? Where do you live?
I'm from California. I've lived here my entire life. So that is specifically San Diego, California. That's where I grew up. And now I live in a little town called Temecula, which is just north. And there's a bunch of wineries around here. So it's kind of a nice place to just chill out and, be able to write music and do fun stuff.
So when did you start music and who inspired you and what made you to become a musician?
So when I was a kid, and you can tell I'm a little bit older, right? So I grew up with great bands in the 70s and the 80s, right? And my favorite band of all time, and the one that inspired me the most, is a band called Devo. I don't know if you know who they are. It's spelled Devo. And they were just completely out of the blue. No one had ever seen that kind of music before. They wore weird costumes. The music sounded different. They had a really weird message that was kind of fun. And it was so different that it inspired me to go, man, I should start learning how to play an instrument. Maybe I could, be a musician. And that's how it started. And then I joined a band with a bunch of friends of mine, and we played all throughout California. And ever since then, I've kind of gone from band to band, doing music for the last, like 35 years. Yeah. So, yeah. So,
So
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So what is the work that you did all these years? Can you tell in detail how you started and what was your first tune?
The first song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, sure. So, um, for a long time, I played in bands where I did not write the music. I was just playing music in bands and loving it and going on stage and having fun. But eventually, in the late '90s, I started writing music. And the reason that I wrote music was because I was inspired by something very strange that had happened to me in my life. And if it's okay with you, I'll go back for 1 second and explain what that was, the weird thing that happened. Is that okay? Good. So back in the 90s, for years and years, I was a stand-up comic. I would do stand-up comedy on stage, and also play music. And I had a friend who said, hey, if you want to get some good material, some good ideas for stand-up comedy, you should go to this UFO convention. And this is a place, by the way, where people would go to talk about aliens and UFOs and all the weird stuff in the sky and conspiracy theories, right? And I thought that's very funny. Yes, I will go, and I will probably write down a bunch of stuff, and I'll make a bunch of jokes about it, and I'll go back and ha ha, right? And it was funny, and that's how it went for a while. But eventually, there was a guy talking at one of these UFO conventions, and he was not some weird dude. He was an actual doctor, an emergency room physician, and he was telling very weird stories about when he would go to a country club near his house and have a drink, and he would run into these retired military people, guys that used to work in NORAD, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, people that were brigadier generals, way back when Eisenhower was president. And after they'd had a few drinks, they started talking to him about UFOs and flying saucers and aliens. And he was shocked to learn that they said, it's all real. It's really out there, and we really know about it, and it's all hidden. Well, over the course of a few years, he started gathering all these witnesses who wanted to talk about it, who wanted to be videotaped, just like I'm doing today, our interview. And he decided he wanted to put together all these witnesses to talk about this and tell the world about it. And you can see it on the internet right now. It's called the Disclosure Project, and it's also a Netflix special called Unacknowledged. But the man's name was Dr. Stephen Greer, and he had dozens and dozens of military witnesses, government witnesses. And he said, if anyone out there in the audience knows how to edit video and knows how to film, help me out. I need you. And I thought, this is weird. I'm gonna walk up to him and talk to him and say, hey man, I'll help you. So I did. I'm like, hey, I only have a little Macintosh computer, but I work in Hollywood. I work at a post-production studio. I know how to do this. I'll help you. And he's like, cool. And we exchanged phone numbers. Then I forgot about it for like a month. All of a sudden I get a phone call. Hey, can I buy you a plane ticket, take you all the way out from California to North Carolina, and I want you to meet at my house with all these witnesses so we can do this. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I guess this is real. All right. I went out there and I met all these people, and my mind was blown because, like you, I don't know how you feel about aliens and UFOs, but I didn't believe in it. I just thought, maybe, who knows, But once you meet these people, a guy that used to work for Eisenhower, a guy that worked with, 21 nuclear missiles, a guy that worked on a, giant nuclear aircraft carrier, and they're dead serious. This is real, dude. I went home stunned. I couldn't believe it. And I just kind of sat there, and my wife was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm shocked. This is real. About 2 months later, all of these videotapes showed up at my house, and they were all of the interviews that they had done. And I started to go through them one at a time. And again, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All of these guys who have never met each other were telling the same story about how it's covered up, how the government works, how it's possible that there's aliens and UFOs, and how we've used that technology over the years. And I was stunned. But I helped him to edit all of it, and we made a DVD. And this was around 1999, 2000. And that was what really inspired me, after that project, to start writing music, right, about UFOs and aliens and stuff like that. But I was doing it a little bit fun still. I wasn't trying to be super serious, right? So I had a band called the J-Rods, and we would go on stage in Hollywood, and all of our songs were like punk rock, fun music. But if you listen carefully to the lyrics, it was all about aliens and UFOs and all that stuff. So we started getting a pretty big fan base because like, hey, these guys, what are they singing about? What is that? And they started getting really into it. And because we were all 40, 45 years old, we're old guys. And we know that young kids, they don't want to come to a concert and see a bunch of old dudes on stage. So we wore these costumes and we looked like aircraft pilots, like jet aircraft pilots, fighter pilots. And we had full helmets so you couldn't see us. And we had air conditioning units inside the helmets so we could breathe. And we sung all of our songs wearing these helmets. And that was a lot of fun. And it was a way to, be able to sing and get the music out there, get people kind of used to the idea of maybe there are real aliens and UFOs out there. And then flash forward to years later, about a year ago during COVID, when the pandemic hit and everyone was kind of laid off or working from home, I had all this extra time and I hadn't written music in a long time. So I decided to just write 12 songs that all had kind of a conspiracy, alien, UFO feeling to it, but with a sense of humor, right? I'm not like dead serious. I try to have fun with it. And I discovered that I could just on my computer at my house play the bass guitar, which I play, and sing. My son would come in and play a couple guitar parts, and then I would put down some temporary drum parts. And then I got on this website, Fiverr, Fiverr, where I was able to just get other musicians from all over the world to help me with my song. So I would send it to them, and then one guy in Tennessee would do the guitar part. I had a guy in Poland who mixed and mastered it, and he works for Warner Music. I had a girl in Russia that sings the backup vocals. Another guy in Spain that did the keyboards. And so kind of like you, where you reach out to people all over the world, I was able to do the same thing. And these songs are just like multinational global talent all over the place, creating these fun songs. So there's 12 songs and I'm making music videos for each one, and it's going to tell a story so that each song connects to the next song. And if you watch all the videos together, it's like you just watched a movie. Sorry, I talked a lot there without letting you talk. I apologize, but that's the background of what I did, yeah, and what led me to this new band, which is called Sonic Descent.
So which is your own?
It's my own. It's just me. This band is, my creation, and it's all just me figuring out who I'm going to invite to step in on this song and help me with some of the instrumentation. But yeah, it's just one guy, just me. Yeah.
So you started this, you recollected the music information which was there in your mind years back, past year, and then you started working on it.
No, actually it was weird because this wasn't a bunch of music ideas that I had from the past. It was, I had a dream one night during COVID, kind of at the beginning of the pandemic when I was working from home, or actually I was laid off from my job. And it inspired me to write one song. And so I went to my computer and I wrote one song, and then I got these people to play along with it. And I was surprised that it turned out better than I thought. And it sounded much better than I thought, because nowadays you can get professionals to help you with your music, and you don't have to find guys in your local town and practice at your house and hope that the drummer shows up for practice. Now you can just get all these great professionals. So after that one song, it inspired me to write a second song. But these aren't anything that I had thought of before. It's just whatever came to my mind. I would just start to sing into the computer, and it sounded bad at first. I would just go la la da 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 bop bop bop, and sing these melodies. And then I would go, okay, what's the lyrics to that? And then I would say, oh, this one's going to be about this topic. This one's going to be about this topic. And then I would start to fill in the blanks. But it was all kind of spontaneous and, that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
So what is the response that you got for the 12 sounds?
What is the response that I got?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've recorded all 12 songs, but I only have released one of them so far. And then I'm going to release an album. And I was surprised, really surprised, that on the first song that I released, which is called Lunatic, um, that it got a much bigger response than I thought, that people were coming to me to write articles about it once they realized this whole story that I told you. And, you know, I thought, gosh, if only 100 people listened to it, that would be fun. That would be good. You know, and I think Lunatic is getting close to maybe 14,000 streams. And there's a bunch of hype now for the next song. And I have people on Instagram that are starting to get more interested in it, maybe like you did, because I have all these weird, you know, props that I use. So far, the response has been really encouraging. And I guess it's a sound that isn't really popular right now. It's kind of an older retro, you know, pop punk sound. And I think nowadays a lot of the music is EDM, you know, type oriented music and hip hop. This isn't any of that. But I've noticed on my audience is everyone from 18 years old to 65. So that's cool. And the audience is also split between male and female, which is kind of nice. I was surprised to see that too.
So tell me about your mind state while creating the music.
My mindset?
Yeah, mind state.
Oh,
So
my mind state?
you
Yeah.
yeah, you decided to create that, and which was not existed before, and you want to tell about the story that you heard long back, and you want
Oh,
to
yeah.
create that fresh feeling. You want to show that imagination of yours to the world.
Right. So that's a great question. Um, for me, I already knew that story super well, but I also knew in my mind that you can't tell that kind of stuff to people normally, because even a person with an open mind, they'll start to shut down after a few sentences. If you just walk up to someone and say, hey, aliens and UFOs are real because I talked to all these military guys and this is what they told me, you'll just see them to start to go, oh, okay. And they don't want to talk about it and they get uncomfortable and they want to go on to something else. It's a natural thing because people don't want their understanding of the world to be shifted too much. You know, there's a comfort zone. But having done comedy for so long, I said, yeah, but if I could do it in kind of a funny way, you know, tongue in cheek, make it a little bit funny, then people could go, oh, I like the sound. You know, that's kind of a cool, older, retro 80s sound. And I can see what this guy's doing. He's being kind of funny. But wait a minute, what did he just say? Holy crap. And then they start writing it down and looking into it. And oh my God, that thing he just said is real. I just looked it up on the internet. There really is a Majestic 12 and all these things that I reference in my songs. So that was my psychological approach, is to get people to like the music first and then laugh a little bit and then maybe the message gets across. But my message for the whole thing is very much like the Beatles. A long time ago, the band The Beatles in the 60s, they had a cartoon that they put out called The Yellow Submarine. And the message throughout it was there's bad people in the world and bad things happen, but love, you know, is the answer to kind of cure everything. If we can all calm down and just show some compassion. So in my 12 videos, there's going to be a central character who kind of has that same message. He kind of deactivates or de-escalates tense situations and kind of brings humanity together as it kind of goes through time. And it's a hopeful message. It's a good message, not a dark, dystopian, sad, apocalyptic kind of a thing that's so popular today. Yeah.
So expressing your emotion and expressing the information in a funny way is an intelligent thought of yours.
Yeah. Yes. Say that again. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that question? Sorry.
So expressing the emotion and expressing the information that you have in a funny way is an intelligent thought of yours. Do you think that reached the people that you wanted, and do you think that the way you wanted, you expressed it in the way you wanted?
Uh, yes. I'm pretty picky about the final product. So I'm pretty happy with how I've been able to complete these songs and what the videos are starting to look like. So I'm happy with the way it came out and the message, but I still have a bunch of videos to create. I'm definitely not even done yet. And I haven't seen people's reactions to the videos yet because I haven't released the first video. I'm going to release that in a few weeks. So I don't know yet what the whole reaction is going to be. Right now, people just heard one song and they liked it, you know. But I'm very curious to see what happens once I start releasing, you know, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth video and the fifth song to see how people are responding. I hope they like it. I'm assuming that the comments in YouTube are going to be all over the board, you know. Hey, this guy's kind of cool too. What in the hell is this dude talking about? Is he insane? You know, I don't know. We'll see.
So the information that you collected about the space and the aliens and the space related project. So are you personally interested in that, or you just got inspired and you just was connected when the way they said or they projected to you, and you decided, because after so many years you decided to write a song on it, and you decided to put your heart and soul and want to put it as pure as possible so that you can create the impact that you wanted. So what
Yeah,
is...
yeah, it's definitely what you just said, which is I was inspired very recently to get this message out there. And that's what inspired me to start writing music again. And so why did I suddenly get inspired? Uh, Back when I first learned all this information, and I would talk to my friends and family, and I would get all excited about it and explain, you have to see these videos. You've got to, you know, let me tell you the whole story. They all thought I was completely crazy. And it was kind of a joke that, you know, Jeff, me, I was kind of the conspiracy guy, you know, oh, Jeff, he believes in all these conspiracies about UFOs and aliens. And it's funny. I get it. All right. But for a long time, all my friends just thought, you know, Jeff's the conspiracy dude. And around 2016, you know, when Donald Trump took office, I noticed for whatever reason, conspiracy theories started to make it to the mainstream, and suddenly everybody believed in all of these conspiracies about, you know, there's some secret government and they're doing these secret things and they're all coming after us, and you know, the QAnon group that, you know, believes in, you know, these weird things. And I recognized why somebody would get into a conspiracy. I was shocked that there was this much conspiracy related news in the media. But as weird as these people sound, as crazy as they sound when they're talking about these nutty conspiracies, I at least was able to relate to why somebody believes in a conspiracy. What is it about the human mind that makes you believe in a conspiracy? And then once you believe in it, you don't believe anything else. You can't see any facts. You won't let anybody talk you out of it. This is the conspiracy. You don't understand. I'm different. I'm unique. I have all the information. You people don't get it. And that became very fascinating to me. And I said, oh my God, I used to be a conspiracy theorist, and now all these people are talking about conspiracies. And so it inspired me to write songs and put out messages where I could say, this is something that really is, I guess, a conspiracy. There really is this whole world that we don't know about, technology that came from elsewhere. Aliens are real. The military does know about it, but this is how it works. But also to address the conspiracy mind. Hey, everybody, relax, okay? You have to keep an open mind. You can't just go down one rabbit hole. Your conspiracy might be partly true or not true at all, but you have to be able to just chill out and not freak out about your conspiracy, right? You have to keep an open mind, because if you don't, you become a antisocial, paranoid, angry person, right? So that was also the inspiration. I'm like, I think me having gone through all this, maybe it's time that I talk about it a little bit, and maybe it'll help someone.
So the information that you said involves psychological thing and the way the people think, and at the same time the conspiracy theories which are already into the world, which are already
Yeah.
into the lot of minds. So when I think the best way to convey the message is to create music and send it to the minds. I
Yeah.
think you did that.
Thank you. Yeah, I would be really curious to hear what you think if you were to hear more of the music. I would love to hear your feedback to see if you think any of the other stuff is good too. Maybe I could even send you some files if you want to listen to it. But I'll be very interested to see how people respond, or maybe they won't respond at all. But yes, you're right, because music, as we know, will create a feeling automatically. I don't have to talk you into it. You either feel it or you don't. And so that's the wonderful thing about music. I can get the audience in the mind state that I want in terms of the emotion and the energy, and then I can slip in my little message, right? I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
So how much time you took to create it?
About 1 year. It would take me about a month to perfect each song. But then, some songs I would have to put on the shelf a little bit and come back to a couple of months later and keep plugging away. But it took me about a year to complete 12 songs. And now I'm just doing some finishing touches on them. But yeah, it took a while. Yeah.
So tell me about the difference that your music have and which is already there in the market, which contains the same emotion that you are expressing.
Hmm. Yeah, I've discovered that if I just listen to, good point. I'm trying to think the best way to explain this. So because of things like Pandora, Spotify, SoundCloud, things like that, where I can type in, a band that I like, and it will start to play songs and bands that I've never heard of that have that similar message and vibe. I have been able to luckily discover a bunch of new music that's out there that I had never heard of before or would never have known about. But the kind of bands that inspire me are a lot of bands actually from a long time ago that I never knew about, that I've kind of rediscovered, where they have this message and it's wound into their music. Again, I mentioned Devo. To a large extent, there was a band called the Ramones. That's a huge legendary band from back in the 70s and 80s, where they had this really great, energetic, get off your feet music, but there was also this message of kind of making fun of the human condition and giving in to insanity. They have this really cool ongoing message. There's bands like MGMT, which is a band that's been around for a while. They seed in all kinds of really thought-provoking, incredible messaging through this really lush, reverb, almost 60s sounding wash of music, which I love. Music that I'm not necessarily a fan of would just be kind of mainstream, where you just have a beat and a little bit of talking. I'm much more into large sweeps of sound, that really bring you into it. And so bands like that. There's another band that I really love called Crocodiles, and they also have some really cool messaging and just an incredible, almost like a retro 60s sound. So I could go on and on. There's a lot of them out there, but I never would have known about them if it hadn't been for, SoundCloud, Pandora, all these things. It's incredible. Yeah.
So what are the instruments that you have used to create the emotion that you wanted and that you wanted to create? If it is okay for you, you can tell.
Yeah, of course. So at the core of each song is what you would expect, drums, bass, and guitar. That's in every song. But I have about a third of my songs have an entire horn section. So that would be trumpet, trombone, saxophone, and they come in during the chorus for this giant, brass sound. I also have a lot of keyboards, synthesizers, making all kinds of sweeping sounds and just kind of textures that kind of trickle and ripple through, right? That's largely from me loving bands like, and again, I'm going back to the 80s, so forgive me, it's a long time ago, but there were bands like Flock of Seagulls and The Cars and Gary Newman. And these are the kinds of bands that really heavily used that keyboard sound to evoke this like, whoa, this is a weird song. Where are we going? And it kind of takes you on this journey. So there's a lot of keyboards, synthesizers. In one of the songs, I have a theremin. I don't know if you've ever heard of a theremin, but a theremin kind of has the whoa, whoa, the kind of science fiction sound. And it's basically, you play it by this little device where you move your hand away from it. It makes this kind of, that kind of thing. So I have that. Let's see, what else do I have? I had a little bit of harmonica in one of them. And I'm writing for the second album, which I'm kind of writing for right now. I'm also using violin and mandolin. And I might even use a little pedal steel guitar in the background on one of them. So a lot of different instruments. Yeah.
Your music is already out now. So your co-creators, what are the creators told to you after putting it out?
Oh, what was their feedback from them?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Feedback, their observation about the.
Um, I haven't gotten too much because my relationship with them is always pretty brief. These aren't people that I'm communicating with on long-term conversations. It's basically, I contact them on this website, Fiverr, and we talk very briefly in a chat. I send them my tracks and I give them an idea of what I want. And then they'll send back a couple versions for me to pick and choose. And once it's done, that's kind of it for that relationship. And I'll go back to the same person. But the only sad part about this is when you have a band where you're all together in the same room, you become friends, you have all this feedback and you all talk about it. When you have this type of an arrangement where, like I said, one guy's in Poland, one guy's in Russia, one guy's over here, you just don't have that. So I do send the final mixed version of the song to the person that helped me out, just in case they want to hear it. And the people that have gotten back to me have always been like, oh my gosh, this turned out great. Thank you so much. I look forward to the next project. But that's about it. Yeah. We don't have like ongoing friendships really.
So what you personally think about these invisible things, aliens and UFOs?
Sure. I can give you the really quick explanation of that I give to people. If somebody walks up to me and says, so here's the first question. How is it possible that all of this has been hidden and we don't know about it? If there really are aliens, if they really did take their technologies and use them, how could we not know about it? Nobody can keep a secret like that. And so I believe, based on what these guys told me, who are in the military and the government at the highest levels, that there's a thing called the military industrial complex. It's basically the military, and they're married to private corporations, so they can hide information amongst each other. And what happens is some guy who's a general in the military says, this is all BS. There's no such thing as aliens or UFOs. If there was, I would know about it. Meanwhile, there's a guy that's 7 ranks below him that knows everything about it. And it's what's called black ops, black operations, meaning super secret. They don't report to anybody. Money gets funneled to them through secret projects that the president doesn't even vote on. And they're able to have these programs that has no government oversight whatsoever, because it's the military and private corporations working together. So because of that, the reality is our government doesn't really know anything. When we go to them and say, tell us all about UFOs, just like they did recently, right? They were told that they had to release all this information. Trump asked them to do that. And they're like, we don't know. Here's what we have. I don't know. And it's the truth. They don't know. Meanwhile, there's all these programs going on underneath their nose that is super secret. So I do believe that's real. And that really has been happening since the 1940s. So what is that, 60, almost 80 years that's been going on. I really do believe that when people look up in the sky and they see these weird UFOs zipping around and doing all these things, like recently came out with the Navy, where the Pentagon said, yes, we have footage that was captured by the Navy showing this device doing this. That's real. We don't know what it is. I believe them. But a lot of those devices are our technology. The military doesn't even know about it, but it has been invented and it is being used. And it's not even alien or UFO. It's us. So I do believe in that. And I do, of course, believe that aliens exist out there in the universe, since we're just one tiny little galaxy and there's billions and billions and billions of other galaxies out there. You would have to be foolish to ever think that there's not other intelligent life. And it's also been described to me how they can travel great distances very quickly. So I do believe that there's all kinds of ways to bend and fold space so that you don't have to go all the way in a straight line. So I believe pretty much all of it, frankly. But when somebody comes to me with a conspiracy, I'm very open-minded. I'll consider it, but I'm not the kind of person to just jump in and believe anything anyone tells me. I'm very structured in terms of how I analyze this stuff. Yeah. Does that answer the question? I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is convincing.
It's what? Convincing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was convinced. After the 50th person, was interviewed, I'm like, okay, I give up. Something's going on. This seems to be real. So, yeah. Like you said, I'll be super curious what the response is. Once I have my videos out there, it should be fun to see people's response. Yeah.
And tell me about the lyrics.
Sure. So each song has a theme to it. For instance, the song that I just wrote called Lunatic, which is it's a short story. So all my songs are basically meant to be a short story about one part of this little movie that I'm writing. I write the lyrics so that they play into my little short film idea. So Lunatic, for instance, is it's about love and relationships between whoever, and how once you've completely committed to that person, you accept the good, you accept the bad, and nothing can deter you from being locked into, connected to, and in love with that person. That's what those lyrics are about on one level. But pulling back, the lyrics are also about specifically a male and female astronaut who are botanists, and they crash land on the moon, and the girl dies, and the man is still alive. And as he's running out of oxygen, he completes their mission, which was to plant flowers and different types of plants on the moon for a future moon base. And so that video tells the story of their love continuing on even after their death and sticking with the person you love. And it kind of ends with, they're on the moon and they're both dead, but you can see all the flowers that have bloomed on the surface of the moon, and it kind of pulls away. It's just one little story about, how far you'll go to be with your other person and how souls get connected. So sometimes the lyrics are super simple. And sometimes I like lyrics that, yes, they rhyme, but they don't always have to rhyme. But sometimes I like to just put words that don't necessarily complete a normal sentence. They just play off of each other to create imagery, right? So all of my lyrics are posted, people can read through them and see, but I'm not a big fan of I love you, you love me, now you left me, those kinds of songs. I like to create imagery, and have words that are just put together to create an image, even though in a normal sentence that wouldn't go together. I don't know if that helps at all to understand, but yeah.
This is deep, and it's really good. I think in the same way you think. So the way you use the words
Yeah.
to create an emotion that you wanted, or to tell the emotion that you wanted to the minds that who are watching or listening to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one thing that I've never seen before, maybe you have, I don't think I've ever seen it where a band had an album and they were able to make a video for every song. Usually it's only a video for 2 or 3 of the songs. And the videos connect to each other in order and they tell a story that's linear. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Usually, music videos are just like, I don't know, completely different things. And I also, I'm not a big fan of music videos that don't have anything at all to do with the song. Sometimes you'll hear the lyrics, but the video has nothing to do with that. And you're kind of like, I wonder what the lyrics are even about. I'm not getting anything here. It's just running around and now there's jello and now they're jumping off of something. And what did it all mean? I don't know. So I'm trying really hard to get people to understand what my lyrics meant specifically for that song. So nobody ever has to read my lyrics and go, I wonder what he means by that. Just go to the video. It explains exactly what I meant by that. And you never have to guess. That's the idea.
So as a creator, as a music generator, as an emotion generator, as an emotion creator, you pulling out people from their own mind states and trying to make them involve in the imagination that you have is
Yeah.
a very tough task and very tough job. So tell me about the work that you did, the kind of work that you did to make this happen.
Yeah. I what you're saying is true. All those things have to happen for a perfect experience. The perfect experience would be somebody's just watching the video because they heard the song and they kind of like it. And they're like, oh, okay. Oh, that's what this is about. Oh, that's a weird thing. What's he talking about? Hey, I'm going to go on the internet maybe and check that out. Oh my God, is this real? What's going on here? That's the perfect scenario. But I don't write the songs thinking in my mind that all of that has to happen, because then I don't think I would be able to just openly write the song. Like I have to kind of forget about that a little bit, push that off to the side, not so much worry about exactly what the experience is going to be and am I going to get them in there. I have to really just kind of be true, to what I'm feeling, and first and foremost, just write the song. Just write it. Don't even worry if it's not the one that people love. Maybe nobody will listen to it, but I don't want to ever be in a situation where I'm trying to perfectly handcraft a song so that as many people as possible like it. I would rather just whatever comes from my gut, that's the core of it. And then, yes, I'll try to make a good music video. I'll try to do a few things to get people into it. But I don't think about that during my process. In my process, I'm just kind of true to how I feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
So you got this extra talent, the communicating medium. This one of the arts, one of the important and the famous arts, which is music. In order to send the message that you have, in order to send the information that you have, or in order to send the emotion or the feeling that you have, how exactly it reaches. All your experience you have heard, your ears have heard a lot of sounds, different sounds,
Yes.
different musical instruments,
Mm-hmm.
and different sounds which are coming from the nature or from the environment. So how you see as as a creator, what is music for you, and what you did for music and what music did for you?
Sure. Yeah. Just like anybody out there, even people that probably say they don't like listening to music, they probably were still inspired by music to some extent. Almost everybody is. It's a natural thing. And I'm no different than a lot of people. Even as a little kid, 3 years old, I would listen to vinyl albums and just kind of dream and daydream and let the songs take me where they would take me, and just love that experience. But the one thing I've noticed is that a large part of music is in your brain. You're kind of filling in the blanks. And here's what I mean. I look back on songs that I thought were these giant, epic, big instrument songs from when I was a kid. And I go back to them and listen to them. And I listen very carefully to the mix, what's exactly in that song. And I'm oftentimes shocked. I'm shocked that all you really hear in the mix is mostly the vocals and the melody that the singer is singing, a little bit of drums in the background, some guitars if that's what it is, but mostly the instruments are surprisingly minimalistic, and the vocals are at the top, and that's what drives the song. And your brain is what kind of filled in the blanks, right? I think of a song and I go, oh, that was that giant, great song from when I was a kid. And it was just this crazy guitar song. And man, it was a great party tune. And oh man, it was so loud and fun. And then you go back to it and that's not really how it was recorded at all. Your brain just filled in the blanks. It made it into this big song that you remember, And so knowing that, and that, you don't have to specifically have a big sound to make people feel that emotion. That's been really eye-opening for me, So some of my songs, I've now been, minimalistic on the instrumentation, and I let the vocal melody carry it, and that creates a whole separate mood on its own, and it surprises me, and I'm like, interesting, right? I don't have to have big distorted guitars and all that stuff. I can make people's minds go there just by taking them along with the lyric flow. So, yeah, when you start mixing and mastering stuff and really drilling down, you start to listen more carefully. You're like, interesting. Okay.
So what is the first sound or the first music that created impact in you and that you cannot forget?
When I was a little kid, I think I might have been 4 or 5 years old. I have a lot of distinct memories of being very little. I don't know why. They're in my head, and I have a lot of memories from childhood. My brother, who's a lot older than me, had a Doors album, The Doors, and one of their big songs back in the 60s was a song called Light My Fire, and it had a really great keyboard part in it, and Jim Morrison, who's a legendary, rock star, of course, the singer. And that's the first time as a human being that a song evoked emotion, and it would just completely lift my mood, and I would get really excited when the song came on, and I would totally go along with the emotion of the song. As a kid, I would dance in front of the little, record player at my parents' living room, and that's the first time I remember going, wow, music is so cool, and that was my first experience. Yeah, but I was young. I think I was 4 years old. Yeah. And then my big thing was like I said, the Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. I had that album, and that was a huge impact on me. It was a cartoon that kids could watch, but on a much larger level, that was the kind of message I wanted to bring across. All these songs that kind of connect and create this message of hope. Really cool.
Can I say you are a scientist in music?
Can you say that?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. An alchemist, maybe. Yeah, I like to mix it and match it and make it all. Yeah, sure. I love it. Thank you. Yeah.
So you know exactly what are the instruments and what are the lyrics or what are the words that are needed to tell exactly the emotion that you wanted, and where and how to hit the minds.
Yes, but again, I said kind of at the beginning of this that you're creating in a vacuum. I don't have a lot of input from other people other than I can't really trust my family and friends because they love me and they're just going to always say, it's great. Oh, that's so cool. Good for you. You can't trust that, So I don't know how it's sounding to other people. I just really stick with my gut. That's all. And if I'm listening back to it and it's making me go in these emotional areas, I hope and pray that other people are like me. And that's all I can do, right? I'm not trying to scientifically tailor it to be perfect for others. I just scientifically tailor it so if I listen to it, I go, oh, okay, yeah, that's driving me. I felt all those emotions. I hope someone else does. Yeah.
So you first try to impress and impact on yourself, so that
Yeah, yeah,
so
that's all
that
I
you
have.
believe that, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have. I have to just go by myself and hope other people respond. And that's the great thing about today is you can have a worldwide audience, and eventually your core group, the people that really resonate with your music, they will eventually find you as long as you can keep putting it out there in clever ways. So I'm trying to be as clever as I can. I'm trying to give people as much as I can, visual, the music videos, comedy, weird conspiracy stuff, or you can just listen to the music and go, cool song, however you want to enjoy it, you can. And then hopefully, if you and I had a conversation 5 years from now, maybe there's a bit of a following, maybe people really dug it. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't know.
So creating music for human emotions is different from creating music for uh, for the invisible things, UFOs and aliens. You are trying to create an impact by sending the information, which is not so convincing. Not many people in the world will connect connect with the information or connect with the imagination of this, since not many people like it is a very controversial topic, but still
Yes.
not many people like me, the technical people who are into technology, they strongly believe. I'm a tech guy. uh, I strongly believe that there are species other than on earth. There might be, there is possibility, but you bringing that into this world, and people who are not into this, but you decided to put the sounds and the words that you have, and trying to create an emotion. So while you are creating this, so what was your thinking? So uh, because you are reaching, you wanted to reach everybody.
Yeah. What was my thinking in including the alien and UFO message? Was that? Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
wanted to reach everybody who is
Oh,
into
right.
the space subject and who is not
Yeah.
into the space subject.
Yeah. So my thinking is that from a psychological level, human behavior, my thinking is I want people to at least be exposed to this idea that maybe things have been a little bit different than you thought over the last 60 years. Maybe there are these secrets. Maybe there are these things that have been kept from us. But at the end of the day, it's all good. It's all amazing technologies that could really help mankind. If we all just got together as the human race and said, wouldn't that be wonderful if there was something else out there, in the universe, and we're not alone. And maybe we could be nicer to each other because now we know that we're in a bigger community. I think if that message were to penetrate even slightly and people were to consider it, they would go, oh, maybe I can relax a little bit and be happy that the earth isn't by itself. And maybe I should love my neighbor a little bit more. And gosh, there's a much bigger universe out there. But also wanting to just have people love the music and just be happy with it. I don't make it in your face. I don't pound it into your face, in the songs or in the music videos. But if you listen to the song, you're probably not going to get any message from it regarding aliens and UFOs. You'll hear the word UFO in a couple of them. You'll hear some words and go, oh, I wonder what this is about. But if you watch the music video, you'll see images and things happening where the viewer's going to go, what is that? And then it's gone. It goes to the next thing. It's like, whoa, stop. What did he just do there? What is that? Right? What? And then you type it in and you can do your own investigation and you'll see that there's this bigger world out there. But that's the way that I try to lace it in, that way. Yeah. So I
I'm
hope.
sure in coming. Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
on.
No, go ahead.
So I'm sure in coming days, you're going to be the right person to tell the information, the space information. Maybe NASA or ISRO, Indian Space Research
Oh, yeah.
Institute, or the SpaceX, the Elon Musk, who is working on the internet and other like Blue Origin,
Mhm.
the Amazon person who is spending time. So I think you're the right person to create the effect or try to send the information, the space information. Maybe they may be after seeing this video or after they listening to you on my podcast, maybe they may connect with the explanation and the understanding and the broad perspective that you have. I think maybe they connect with your thinking, and maybe they select you, or they think that you're the right person to send information, because music is one of the best ways to send information into the
Yeah.
minds.
It's the softest way. It's the nicest way,
Yeah,
and nobody wants to have people preach to them, talk at them. Nobody wants that. Hey, let me tell you my conspiracy theory. You better listen to me. Nobody likes that, right? But I think this is a really nice way to do it. Like when you're a kid and your mom gives you medicine, you need the medicine, right? It is going to help you, but nobody likes medicine. So,
yeah,
you put a little sugar in it, you mix it in with, something else, and then all of a
yeah,
sudden it's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so hopefully this delivery method is good. We'll see.
So at last, to my audience and to the world who is listening and watching this, so tell me the how your music, how your artwork differentiates from with the sound which is already there in the market, and what is the unique thing that you have that world don't have?
Um, I, I, I'm not 100%. I feel like the sound and the inspiration for what you're hearing from the instruments and stuff, and what I'm getting from a lot of the music critics that have listened to my song, they all kind of say the same thing. Had you released this music back in the late 80s or the 90s, it would have been huge, but I haven't heard this kind of music in a long time. This is sort of like pulling from old stuff, and now maybe it's new again. So, it's definitely not the kind of sound that you typically hear nowadays. I don't think anyway. And what was the other part of the question? Sorry.
Yeah, the same thing that you're saying.
Say it again. I'm sorry. What was the other part of the question?
So
Can you repeat the?
what is the difference that that people can observe in your
Oh,
when they compare your music
sure.
with other music which is there, which is already
Oh,
there in the market, and what is the unique thing that you have that world don't have?
So and I totally understand what you mean. Like the music that's already dead in the market, kind of older sounding music, right? That's not popular anymore. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay. Um, hmm. I mean, I hope, I don't know for sure, but I hope that uh, my music feels like it pulls from an older sound and an older style, but hopefully it feels fresh to people, right? Like even though this isn't the most popular thing in the market, even though it pulls from a lot of bands that aren't around anymore, it's kind of a new presentation of that. There's something about it, that drives us forward. I try to keep it energetic. I try to evoke emotion and create moods. And I think even if your music is reminiscent of something that came before that's no longer popular, if you can still evoke emotion, if you can still create people to have imagery in their minds, then they're probably going to connect to it regardless. So that's my hope anyway. And then, like I said, if they were to bother to actually look at the music video that goes with it, then I think there's a difference, because I don't think there's a lot of bands out there that have kind of an overlying theme and message that plays out on each and every video. And if you were to take your lunch break and spend 40 minutes and watch all 12 videos back to back to back, it would be like you just watched a short film on Netflix. It all connects into one big thing. So I think that differentiates it a little bit. Yeah.
So I'm sure it reaches to larger audience and uh, makes them think about what you're trying to say. And I'm sure not only from a particular part of the world, people from anywhere who listens to it, because I'm understanding that you have a deep knowledge about how to create and where to create and what to create. I'm sure the people with this much clarity and understanding will reach without thinking about the response, without thinking about who is going to connect and
Right.
where from where they are going to get response. The only
Yeah.
thing is people with your way of thinking who knows how to create what to create will reach wherever they want, wherever they even they don't need to put a target definitely,
Hmm.
but if they put their mind, definitely it will reach. And I saw a lot of people reaching there, like great creators. I'm sure you're going to be one of uh, the great creators in the
Hmm.
world.
Wow. I that is probably the nicest thing that anyone's said to me. Thank you so much, man. I'm thank you. I sure hope that. And what I really hope, the greatest thing that could come of any of this is feedback like you just gave me, where somebody said, "Hey, I love this. This helped me. Now I understand these new things," or "I don't know anything about that alien and UFO stuff, but I love that song and it had this effect on me." I think that's all anyone ever wants. If what you said is true, that would be great too, of course. But thank you, man. That's nice of you to say. Appreciate it.
Because the clarity that you have how to express even the unknown information can also can reach to the world,
Hmm.
because you are expressing it uh, in the way you have the exact information that you have, and you have the medium, the art, the sounds and the lyrics, and uh, it is like it is one of the communication mediums, and you know how to create music. I think that is the best way. One day definitely uh, the market, they have to take it, but the purity I can understand it. Your music will have the pure emotion, the purest emotion, because you know what you're saying and what you're going to say. By understanding the long discussion of ours, that is what I understood. You look like very good and good communicator and very particular about things. Even the small things, you are very conscious and curious. I think
Yeah.
this is what every human being should have in any art. If he
Yeah.
is in any artwork, or if he is any field, this is what works for any human being. That is what I believe as a creator.
Yep. Thank you. You summed it up beautifully. And I feel bad for anyone out there that wants to create, and for some reason they haven't been able to discover the medium that they should use, or they haven't been able to uh, utilize it or get good enough at it that they can make it effective for them. So yeah, you just got to keep trying and trying and experimenting, and it all just comes from a drive of wanting to get the message out somehow. And again, I hope that through music and you know um, tweaking these songs, that there can be a message. So hopefully, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, and at last, as a creator, as a music creator, as an observer, as a person who is into psychological things, what? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a person who is into different things, who is into psychological things, and who is into music, and
Yeah.
who understands exactly what works in the as a communicator. So what do you say about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube? And about, tell
Yeah.
me a few words about this conversation of ours, and
Yeah.
about my skills, my
Yes.
understanding, and my knowledge.
So one of the things that I do when I'm not doing music is I'm a trainer, and I train folks in different skill sets, and one of them is listening, right? So what I get from you when I look at the vast differences in the people that you have interviewed from everywhere, from all different types of professions, many of them professions that a lot of people might even overlook, contributions that these people have, expertise, mindsets, thoughts, knowledge that can largely get overlooked. Somehow you look at that and say, oh man, just like I was doing, the message, the knowledge of these people and the shared wisdom needs to get out there. We all need to hear this, right? So that's kind of where you start. But what you have that's very unique and different than a lot of people, in my opinion, and I don't know you that well, but from what I can see, is you're a really good listener, right? You actually start with these open-ended questions, and you get people to start feeling comfortable and talking about themselves and sharing probably to a larger extent than they've ever shared with anyone else before. And they start to feel comfortable, and that's where the magic happens. So I try to teach people to do that all the time in my day job, be a good listener, find out, pull out of somebody what's happening inside of them. And to do that, you need to ask certain questions and then sit back and listen and let them. And I've noticed with you as an interviewer, you listen very carefully, and then you just tweak it a little bit and ask one more question that kind of nudges it, back in the direction this way or this way. And then you sit back and you let the person talk. That's where you discover the most, right? So that's really smart. I mean, I got that right away. And I was shocked that I kept thinking, now what is he getting out of this? I mean, do I see a bunch of advertisements? Do I see that he's sponsored by somebody? What? No, it just seems like you have an actual drive in your heart to learn about other humans. And that's weird in this world, because technology, you're a technologist, it's connected us to more people, but you're using it in a good way. You're using it to connect and have open conversations using our face and our mouth and actually talking to each other. That's very rare these days. Everyone's kind of sucking into their phone, right? And their minds are just on this, and they're not communicating with anyone. They think they are, but they're not. And people are becoming less and less interested in just having open dialogue using your mouth. And you're the kind of guy that's like, hey man, there's a whole world of people out there. There's a million fascinating stories. Let's share it. Let me just reach out to people. And it's a testament to you, because you just messaged me on Instagram. I don't know you. You didn't even really introduce yourself that much. You didn't have to. I could just instantly go, who is this guy? Oh, this is so cool, man. Look at what he's doing. Yeah, I'll be on your show. That's great, dude. And here we are. So that's a magic, man. You've got something about you that people instantly trust. They open up, and you're a sincere guy. But I would really like to ask you a question. What are you hoping to get from your interviews? What do you have kind of what you're trying to achieve in terms of what you would love to see, or are you already seeing it and you're already happy with the result?
It's good that I'm hearing different people and who are into different professions, and listening to different experiences, and which I'm not into, and which I most of the people think that it is not their subject. But I believe that life is full of all colors, not only single color. You are not here on this planet just to learn only one thing. So you have to fill your life experience, or enjoy everything that, and listen to everybody. There are a lot of people, like, as a music creator, I'm sure you don't fix for one particular music, or one particular music instrument, or one particular singer, or one particular uh, 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 set of words. You want to listen every other people, or every other things, in order to create your own. You collect from one thing, from this thing, one person, and one thing from other person. Like, it is like collecting from everybody and creating your own thing. So that when you talk to more people, and who are into different professions, different experiences, listen to you will know a lot of things. And it is very easy today, these days. You have technology, you have just mobile in your phone, and you have just a mobile in your pocket, and just use it for your personal growth. And at the same time, the people who are coming into your show or who are talking with you also should get benefit. It can be one person because they are giving their valuable time to you. So we have to give like equal importance to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that is how
Yeah.
even like you mentioned, I'm not getting ads, I'm not monetizing this videos, or I'm not getting anything. People say this is long length videos, you won't get revenue from this. Not many people listen to
Right.
long
Yeah.
conversations, but I just destroyed that imagination. Now my audiences are ready to listen to 3 to 4 hours, but if it contains valuable and the pure and the quality information, any human being from any part of the world can put their time, because it changes the way they are thinking. Because I don't think in just 10 to 15 minutes I can't put a creator or a person who is into art from long time, I can't put 15 to 20 minutes. It's very important. And like you said, I have to be a great listener for a long time in order to know what exactly that they have experienced, so that I can tell to the audience and to the viewers who are listening to me. And it, even it can be one or two important people, if it reaches, if their message or their talent or their skill goes, it is not only me that I'm getting benefit. It is also like me growing, and people with me, they are also growing. So this was my concept, and a lot of great people are collaborating with me and coming to my show. Like, I'm not only doing non-technical videos. I have a technical channel too. Yesterday I did a interview of a person who works in Microsoft, who was into Microsoft for 25 years, and who said completely a different subject, which is completely technical. So this everything is interconnected. Even I think even music was also is a
Mm-hmm.
collection of different emotions and different informations. So
Mm-hmm.
I think every subject involves everything. So if we if we put, the only thing we should have is time. If we have time, we can create something which is quality. And definitely, like you said, like what you're doing in your work, I'm putting the same effort and same consciousness in my work, and that is working, and that is working for me, and that works for many people like you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting because in my situation, I'm taking things that I want to share and emotions that I want to get across and sending them out to hope that it resonates. You're starting from the perspective of you yourself as a person on the earth, you actually want to learn from all these different perspectives, from all these different people. So you're starting with you yourself wanting to be enriched by all these different people. And then you're hoping that the other message that comes across is that, hey, if you're watching this, maybe you also want to learn from a bunch of different people like I am, right? So it's really cool that yours is starting from a journey of you yourself want to learn, and you're hoping other people will also feel the same way as you. That's really cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And when I see how many videos you have and all these different people, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that's pretty impressive. How long have you been doing this for? Is it a few years or what?
1 year, 1 year I did.
1 year? That's
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Oh
1 year.
man. Oh my God. If you keep doing it for the next 5 years, you're going to have like, 1,000 videos up there. That's incredible. Yeah. They
Yeah,
might even have to archive them for the permanent human record of all these different, examples of different people in different professions. Maybe you're going to become the next, Wikipedia or the next giant archive. We'll see.
do you know, sir? I just love doing what I'm doing, and like you, great people coming onto my show and telling about the work that you are doing and putting efforts in, and that actually inspires a lot of people, and also tells about the work that you're doing. Also they can hear what you also doing. So I want to tell I want to put, if you send me your links, I will put in the
Sure.
description of this video.
Oh,
People who
cool.
finds our video
Yeah,
can find your links, and also
cool.
I'll display on the screen your band. People from
Oh,
India or
thanks.
anywhere who are
Yeah,
following me
sure.
can find your band, and they can
Cool.
hear, like you said, only one track is out. The remaining tracks, they are going to, I'm sure they are going to feel something new from you because
Yeah,
because of the
yeah, they
clarity
are.
that you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. Thank you. Yeah, that's really great. I look forward to that. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate this, man. It was a lot of fun to learn a little bit more about you too. So thank you for giving me a platform to explain my weird world that I'm in. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure for giving. It's my pleasure to have you on my show and hear to your valuable information and your valuable work. So can I put this audio and video clip on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, you have my permission. Yep.
And also on my social media, internet, podcast, website, everywhere for the promotion and for every purpose.
Yeah, for all mediums, no problem. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff, for
Yeah.
giving me your valuable time and keep
Thanks,
going,
man.
keep doing what you love. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to affect it because of your presence and because of
Thanks,
your
buddy.
work.
Thank you so much. And I mean it when I say likewise. I know that you're doing a great thing. So thank you so much, man. We'll both keep going. How's that? Awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely. And whenever your music comes out, tell me and we'll talk about it again.
You bet, buddy. I sure will. Thank you so much. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Bye.
Okay. Have a good night. Take care.
Yeah.